This is the newest offering from Ross and Squibb, dubbed the Remus Bourbon Master Distiller Experimental Series, a new series that was born from a happy accident when a barrel experiment from 2015 yielded some particularly interesting whiskey. Now, happy accidents in whiskey is a story we've heard before. Remember Wild Turkey and Unforgiven? That was an accident. Woodford Reserve and the Chocolate Whisper? Also an accident. Just a couple examples of stories like this that actually become unique releases. So is this actually a happy accident? Let's find out. Stay tuned. It's the Mash and Drum. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C, and welcome back to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room. Like, subscribe, and help me keep climbing to 100,000 subscribers here in 2025. So as I mentioned, this new series was born from a happy accident, and Master Distiller Ian Stursman over at Ross and Squibb decided it was special enough to share with the world. Now, this new series will allow Ian Stursman to experiment with grains, recipes, different maturation techniques, creating high-quality bourbons with different flavor profiles from experiment to experiment. So the idea here is that each release within the Master Distiller Experimental Series will be a one-off, one-of-a-kind type of release each and every year. Now, I'm not sure how many they're going to be releasing a year, but we have released one here. So what do we got going on in the experimental batch number one? So number one has been aged for 9 years. I always have to check the cork now. Just scared they're all gonna break. So number one has been aged for 9 years in lightly charred, heavily toasted Seguin Moreau barrels with staves seasoned for 24 months. Let's get this poured. Now, it's bottled at 107 proof with an SRP of $79.99, which is exactly what I paid for it. So what I really dig about this release is the new bottle. It really does kind of lean into that Art Deco Gatsby style that the brand is known for. Nice big 9-year age statement on the front. I think it picks up light really well, as you can see in the B-roll. So I really dig this bottle, and I do think it makes itself stand out from the regular Remus releases, which also have a little bit of that old school style to it. But I just think this kind of takes it up a notch with the bottle design. So, all right, let's dive in and see what we got. So I think this is my third pour of this that I've had, and the nose has really opened up nicely. The first pour I ever had of this, it was very spice forward, got a lot of baking spice in it. Some of those typical like cinnamon, graham cracker notes I usually get in MGP or Ross and Squibb, whatever you want to call it. But this is, the toast profile is coming out now, and I think the more you let some of these toasted bourbons sit, even though it's not, I guess it's not marketed that it's particularly a toasted bourbon, I do think it lends itself to just better flavor coming out of the glass. This has opened up, it's gotten a little bit more dark fruit forward, which is really nice. But I do pick up like this sandalwood, almost cedar type note that you kind of pick up when you're trying different colognes, I guess. They kind of call them out. You get cedar, you get sandalwood, something like that. I feel like there's like an aromatic wood type of aroma that's coming out of here. It's not just like straight oak or toasted oak. There's something a little bit more aromatic about it. It's also gotten a lot sweeter too. I feel like you're getting a little bit of like that marshmallow note. Now, this was utilizing Seguin Moreau barrels. We'll talk about that in a second. But great nose here. It's opened up, it's gotten sweeter. Let's give it a try. Cheers. This is a very sweet and spicy bourbon. The balance of it is beautiful here. Yeah, I get a ton of chocolate, toasted marshmallow here on the palate, but that rich dark fruit note that it's making itself to be known is so good. It kind of gives you what you love about a toasted bourbon, and then it leans into maybe a little bit more of the MGP or Ross and Squibb type of profile. But not so much citrus. I'm not really getting that usual citrus note I get in MGP. This is coming off more of a dark fruit. And on the finish, it just kind of keeps going. It's got a nice sneaky long finish for 107 proof. The more you sip it, it gets sweeter and it also gets darker to me. I think some of those woodsy spice notes I was picking up on the nose, they're definitely there on the palate, but really my favorite part of this, I think, is the mid palate. You get the spice on the front, but once it hits mid palate, it's like everything just kind of explodes together. You get the marshmallow, the chocolate, you get a lot of baking spice here, but the dark fruit, I think it's more of like a fig Newton type of note I'm picking up here, right in the mid palate. It just all works really together. And at 9 years old, it doesn't come off overly drying at all. I mean, you could definitely taste a little bit of age. I could just see people picking up like a heavy tobacco, maybe leather note on the back end as well. Okay, let me reframe that. I'm not gonna say it's heavy, but there is an influence there, I think, of a leather tobacco note. Yeah, this is really good. I'm digging this quite a bit. Now, let's talk a little bit about Seguin Moreau. I told you they were aged in these Seguin Moreau barrels. If you don't know what the hell that is, Seguin Moreau is a cooperage out in California that does everything by hand when they're making their barrels. So the barrels can be quite a bit more expensive than a barrel that's made by another cooperage that maybe automates things a little bit more. So Seguin Moreau makes these high-end premium barrels. They season for a long time. They're all handmade every step of the way, so they are a more expensive container for bourbon and for whiskey. But also, anytime I've tried anything out of a Seguin Moreau barrel, the sweetness has been very amplified, and so is the chocolate type of flavor profile. So I think that's what I'm getting here. So last sip of this one here. It's really good, man. This is something that is, it's both light and dark at the same time. It's got this real heavy sweetness that I really enjoy, that marshmallow, that sugary type note, but then that little hint of like a fig or a plum. There's some sort of like dark fruit there that hits you in the mid palate before it gets into all that wood spice and the that leather tobacco note and the finish. This for 107 proof, this finish just kind of lingers. It sits. That's good. All right, before we get to the final breakdown, it is time for the question of the day. All right, so today's question of the day comes from Brian Smith-IT6TG. He says, in a perfect world, if you could obtain any barrel of bourbon from any distillery in Kentucky, uncut and unfiltered, what would you pick? So I'll give you a top three here. This is in no particular order, but the first one I would say is, you guys know how great Russell's 15 was. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but some of the barrels that were utilized in Russell's 15 to make the blend from Wild Turkey, some of them were over 160 proof, had very little liquid in it, but was just pure liquid fire, liquid candy. I would like to try one of those barrels. That would be pretty high on my list, so I think that would be one of them. Some super crazy high proof Wild Turkey, cast strength, 14, 15 year barrel I think would be amazing. Secondly on that list would probably a George T. Stagg, some kind of 14, 15 year hazmat, I think would be incredible. And last but not least would probably be from MGP. Something from MGP, 12, 13, maybe 14 years old. An old school MGP profile, old school MGP bourbon profile, where you got like that rich cherry cola. That would probably be my top three barrels. So, I mean, I know you asked for one, but you can't just pick one. All right, it's final breakdown time. All right, final breakdown on the new Remus 9-year experimental series number 1. Price for this one, $79.99. As far as resale market value, haven't seen these on the resale market at all. Most of these don't usually make it to the resale market, which is pretty good. As far as availability, I think these are going to be limited to a handful of states. I'm not really exactly, I think it was like 13, 14, maybe 15 states I read. So if you have Remus available near you, this is probably going to be one you may get or want to keep an eye out for. For value here, I think I'm going to say it's above average. Again, it's not a rule of law, but if you can use that $10 per year of aging, I guess, guideline to kind of figure out your pricing, you're looking at an 8-year price point at $80 for a 9-year whiskey, which I still think makes it a little bit above average as far as for what you're getting, and especially from what I'm tasting in the bottle. Most I pay here is going to be retail. I think the price is pretty spot on. As far as alternatives, I think there's a couple different directions you can go. If you want to go more typical toasted profile, you can go Penelope. Penelope utilizes Ross and Squibb, MGP. Penelope toasted bourbons are generally around the same price as this, but I don't think the age is as much as this 9-year from Ross and Squibb. Also, Elijah Craig makes a toasted bourbon. I don't think it's nearly as flavorful as this is, but it's a little bit cheaper. And I also think some of the Pursuit United double oak store picks, if you come across a Pursuit United bourbon store pick that I do, now we selected a rye that was using Seguin Moreau barrels, but I'm not sure if they're utilizing the bourbon ones, but I have tasted similar flavors in some of those Pursuit United picks that I've tried that I'm finding in here. So that may also be a good alternative. And as far as a recommendation is to skip a try before you buy or buy and back it up. this is going to be a buy for me. I really dig this. I think it's kind of a sneaky good release from Ross and Squibb. Generally, when a lot of their stuff comes out, people seem to overlook it. Even the Remus Repeal series these days don't garner as much attention as they used to, especially ever since release number 5. But I do think I have high hopes for this experimental series. This is a really good indication of a higher age whiskey that Ross and Squibb can bring to the table at a good price and utilize some different flavor profiles in order to kind of enhance what MGP already does. So the baking spices, the dark fruit, the extra level of sweetness here, I just think it does something different. I really do like it, especially for the price point. But I do think this could end up being a great series. Now, we'll see what the other experiments entail. Sometimes you'll see some other finishes. Who knows what could come out of this, but it'll be interesting to see what Ian and the team at Ross and Squibb come up with. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this review for the new Remus 9-year experimental series number 1. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram. Let me know if you found one of these yet. Do you plan on seeking this one out? What do you think of the price point? I know a lot of you guys out there watching really want the prices to come down. I think this one is actually a good price, but let me know what you think. Also, if you have a question today you want to put forth if you have a question today that you want to ask, please leave it down in the comments below. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. Cheers, and I'll see you next time right here on The Master and Drum. Still a lot of whiskey to get to this week. I think we're going to do What's on the Shelf Wednesday tomorrow, so keep an eye out. Cheers, guys.